Thanks to Vol Nation for showing up in a big way. I believe we set another Nissan stadium record for attendance. I think that happened the last time that we were here too. Obviously, everybody here understands how important Mid-State this area is. First of all, just our fan base, our alumni that are here, but also on the recruiting side of it. So, great, unique opportunity to open it up the way we did this season here in Nashville. So, ball game, end of the day, it's a really positive win. There's a lot of things to take away from it on the positive side. At the same time, there's a lot of ways that we can be a whole lot better as a program. Defensively, though, I thought the way that they started in the first half, 3-4 possessions for sure on the wrong side of the 50-yard line. They bow up immediately and hold them to a total of 3 points, I believe. I thought our front four did an unbelievable job of playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Thought we tackled well for an opener, and did a really good job on third down. Secondary was rock solid early in the football game, and that carried over for a majority of the football game. Special teams, offensively, there's some things that we needed to clean up that happened in the first and second quarter. I thought early in the third quarter played solid football and settled into a little bit more of a flow in both areas. But as typical, there's things that we got to clean up, coaching staff and players alike. At the same time, enjoy every single one of these wins and learn how to get better when we get back tomorrow to Knoxville. Open it up.
Questions? Ben, then David.
Josh, you come out and scoring that opening possession, but then kind of go into a lull, I guess, and you mentioned the difference in the second quarter and third quarter. What did you see that difference was?
Yeah, you guys can see a lot of it too. There's just some subtleties of execution. Catching the football on some big plays, being more accurate with the football, being a little bit cleaner in the pocket. It's not a major overhaul when things aren't going well, typically, on the offensive side of the ball. 11 guys got to operate as one. I felt like, just in general, like our skill kids in general were not like completely in the flow of the game. And whether it was the heat, new surface, game one, just weren't quite within ourselves. And as game went on, I felt like we operated better in that way.
Josh, on that first possession, 4th and 5, you go for it. How difficult of a decision was that, and how much does that kind of, show to your players the confidence you have in them?
Yeah, those are difficult situations. You're trying to, at the end of the day, put your football team in the best position to win. And where we were at on the field, opening drive, one, trusted our guys, and two, the field obviously was flipped, and they were in a tough situation if we didn't pick it up.
Austin and Vince.
James obviously had those 2 sacks in the first quarter, but it seemed like you got
Who was that? I'm sorry.
James Pierce.
Yeah.
You got those 2 sacks in the first quarter. But who else did you like? What you saw out of some of those younger guys that were looking to take a step this year?
James played really well today, early in the football game. David Hobbs did an unbelievable job in the interior. He's a young guy that his best football is way out in front of him, but just continues to get better. You can see his improvement, really almost every single day on the practice field. I thought he competed extremely well. Josh Joseph did some really good things early in the football game too. So we got a plethora of some young guys that need to continue to grow, but guys are going to help us as the season goes on.
Josh, 4 touchdowns for Dylan Sampson. What can you say about his performance?
Yeah, that's a good way to start if you're a running back. All 3 of those guys played extremely well. Jalen Wright, I thought, ran as physical as he has. The things that we saw in training camp, I thought you saw today. Doing a great job of hitting holes, running through arm tackles, doing a good job on the third level too. Jabari Small did a fantastic job. D-Samp, gets the 4 touchdowns, super productive for him. I love what he's doing. The strength of that room can never be one guy. All those guys are going to be extremely important. You can see that, based in the number of touches all those guys got.
Adam, then Joe.
Josh, the defense was playing well at the end of last year. Do you feel like that's just player development? Is this defense just sort of coming of age?
Well, first of all, we've got a great coordinator, and Tim does a great job of developing a plan every single week. We have enough in our package that we can be multiple in the way that we attack people on the other side of the line of scrimmage. When we first got here, we were at 65 scholarship players. We were hit heavy in the portal, a lot of that on the defensive side of it, not all of it. We were extremely thin. We tried to patch it with some transfers. The guys that we brought in the last 2 cycles, I think have done a really good job of helping patch our roster. We have more depth. We got really good coaches that do a great job of developing those guys fundamentally. And our guys have bought into how to compete on every single snap. And so you put scheme, coaching, physical development in the weight room, and depth, and allows us to be more aggressive on that side of the football.
Josh, I know you guys rotated some guys in the back end, but do you feel right now that you have that solid 5? If you were in maybe a different kind of game, or is there still some spots?
Yeah, you're going to see multiple guys rotate on the back end.
Josh, how do you feel about Joe's overall command of the offense today?
I thought command was really solid. I thought he did a good job in the pocket. He escaped at times when needed. I thought his run reads were really pretty solid. There were a couple throws that, he would want back, not far off. Ramel's running right down the middle of the football field, and we're just a little bit off. And that's where I just felt like early in the ball game, we weren't completely settled in. But at the end of the day, this game is not going to be perfect in any phase of the game. It's how you continue to respond and handle yourselves. I thought they continued to compete, finished the first half the right way, and came out and started fast in the second.
Patrick, and then we'll go to the back.
Josh, you talked a little bit about the back end on the offensive line. It looked like you were rotating 4 different positions. I think 8 different guys played. How much of that was planned going into the starting series with this kind of certain lineup?
All of it was planned that we were going to rotate those guys. Have great trust in those guys. As the season goes on, you inevitably need to have depth and be able to move people around. So, looking forward to getting Coop back here, hopefully pretty soon. And at the same time, love what we've done with the guys that have been at center, but the moving parts that we've had, how they've competed and played. Believe that we'll find more out as we watch it today. But I thought all in all, a really solid performance from all those guys.
The back.
Coach, you talked a lot about the depth all camp long. Did this kind of go the way that you had planned it all throughout camp? Did it even maybe exceed your expectations, the amount of guys you were able to work in today?
I don't think so. We planned on playing a bunch of guys because they've shown that they deserve the opportunity to play, and taking some of those snaps at the end of the day makes us a stronger football team in week 1, but throughout the course of the season too. There's still, some moving pieces, and when I say that, the depth chart week 1 is not the same as it's going to be week 2. There's continued growth and opportunity for everybody inside of our program, and just for myself, really good football teams continue to get better. That's mature veteran guys. It's young guys inside of your program. So continuing to grow and compete is something that we've already talked about inside of our locker room.
Third row here.
Josh, you mentioned things not going perfect at the beginning. Did you see a level of maturity from your team today of the way it was maybe unscripted early to just fight through and do business like to get it done?
Well, first of all, there's a level of maturity that your defense has to have as many of those situations come up where the ball's on the wrong side of the football field, and to have no panic, no pointing of a finger, just, hey man, a look in your eye and a common thread that we're going to go out and compete and get off the football field here. I love that maturity from those guys and from our staff on that side of the football. Offensively, there wasn't any panic. We talk about it, dang near every day, that if it's not going good, it's typically not some major overhaul. It's, 11 guys got to operate as one. So there is some maturity in that. There was no panic from them. They were extremely confident. There's going to be, more hostile environments that we're going to play in where that maturity will be tested even more. We got to continue to grow together for us to handle all those situations the right way.
Rob, and then to the back.
Coach, staying on maturity with the defense, I don't think you guys had a penalty on that side of the ball. No big plays for them. Is that a reflection of that maturity?
We did have one late. Not to correct you, but to correct you. Point of emphasis all off season. How you do anything is how you do everything. And the maturity off the field, the maturity inside of our building, the maturity on the practice field. Something that we continue to stress. You guys know that I have liked the competitiveness and the accountability and the maturity of this group as we've grown the entire offseason. This is step one of the journey. We got to be true to that every single week, but it certainly was a step in the right direction on the game field for us on that side of the football.
You talk about mechanical things that you want to fix throughout the year. What's the biggest mechanical fix you want to make between week 1 and week 2?
Some real subtle things just in personnel and communication, between coaches at times. So nothing major, but continued growth.
David, advance.
Josh, I guess Jackson had a couple of rough punts. I know D fumbled one, and you had some kickoffs go out of bounds. Was that kind of had you seen that in camp, or was that kind of an aberration today?
Man, imagine going over to a foreign country and playing a game for the first time that you've never played. Did I anticipate it? No, but do I understand it? Yeah. He's going to be a really good player, though. Some of what you saw late from him is what we've seen all training camp. So, believe he'll continue to get better. Believe Josh will, too. I mean, you saw some big-time kickoffs from him. You saw a couple that aren't up to our standard. But both those guys will be better for it.
Josh, I know it was late, small sample size, but what did you see from Nico and the way he handled himself?
Same things that we've seen, really calm, cool, good demeanor, able to communicate, handle all the pre-snap stuff the right way, get his eyes in the right place. I thought, showed some athleticism. I love the feel in the pocket, being able to step up and get out of it and go make a play with his feet. He's athletic enough to be used in the run game and escape the pocket. I thought some of the run pass stuff he did a good job, and made an athletic throw, didn't complete it, but throwing across his body on a little slant route that ended up not being completed. But all in all, really solid performance from him.
Last one to Eric.
I know we fumbled once, but really nice return. D. Williams got a couple of them. What did you see on his returns?
Yeah, love. You talk about maturity, like competitive composure. I think D's as great of an example of that as anybody during the course of this football game. We talked about the specialists earlier, being able to handle something that doesn't go right and come back and compete. The next play is independent. D's dynamic. You see him on all of our core special teams cover units. He's running down there, making plays. Elite returner, man, dynamic, and changes the way the game's played because of the field position. Everybody in our program loves D, who he is, what he stands for, the teammate that he is, and we love how dynamic he is with the football in the return game too.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.